Well, welcome. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Jon. We have Jon Vanstone here with us from Certass.
Hello. I think I enjoy the opportunity to affect some change. I think it's fair to say we've, for many years, things rolled and they're pretty similar, and then you had things like Grenfell Tower, which heralded a much needed change and gave momentum to things that we've been working on for ages that hadn't really gone anywhere, and then suddenly bang, now off you go. And it's amazing to think we're actually almost 4 years from Grenfell Tower right now, and there's so much to do.
What changes have you seen in the industry, good or bad? And I guess since you mentioned Grenfell, we can start there. You've said there's a lot more work to be done, but what other changes have occurred since then?
I think it's fair to say much greater use of technology, as in there's several reports that basically say those people that worked in construction 100 years ago would come in and be handed tools and still be able to actually do the job on site. I think where there's been so much change is the way that we communicate, in particular to our customers, obviously the use of technology, social media. A lot of the work that we do at the moment is with residential construction. So people working in other people's homes, and there's been a huge change there. The power of the consumer obviously is considerable, particularly in the last 20 years. I think it's fair to say also we're seeing a difference between the relationship with regulation. When regulation came in, it was everyone was trying to catch up, and it was that, and now I think there's a greater understanding of it, but I think there's also a few, let's just say, shortcuts being taken by bodies and associations that I think should be doing better. And I think what we're going to see is a reaction to that in the next few years. So, yeah, I think good and bad. I think one of the things that's kind of interesting is, I think as a society, though, we've seen so much change as regards understanding things like protected characteristics, people not getting the opportunities and pathways and seeing the role models they should. And I think with that highlight on it, industry is so far behind. And because there's so much more coverage on it, you actually suddenly realise how far behind we are. And I think that's quite concerning, because it's fair to say that as an industry, much as we have a lot of great things, I think we're not really representative of society at the moment.
And is that something you predict will change?
I think it's something that government would have put a lot more focus in right now if it wasn't for things like Grenfell Tower and then the COVID pandemic.
Have you any predictions for us in the coming years, as in for the industry?
Well, I think interesting, we're in a bit of a boom at the moment, as in people talk about a lot more work on site. I think, though, we're also seeing collision with a reduction in performance of the supply chain. Obviously, material shortages, a lot of products that aren't as good as they could be, and I think the reaction in some areas is not good enough. I think the worry about that is once consumers can spend their money more freely on holidays, and they get into, suddenly all their home moving slows down a bit after stamp duty, cessation halts. I think we'll may have a few problems justifying the prices that are now what they have to be due to what's going on through the supply chain, but relating that to performance. And people have quite a long memory. I bought this for X amount of money 2 years ago. Why is it now 30% more? I don't think I'll bother. And I think we have to find ways of working with that. I also think we're going to see quite a lot of legislation coming through. I also think, sorry, just one minute.
No, tell me more.
Our inability to collaborate is showing up, as in done a lot of work in roofing in the last 3.5 years, and the roofing trade associations talk a lot more than ours do. I think it's fair to say the electrical bodies get together and lobby government on safety issues. We don't do it at all, and then we actually give two different views, and I think government think, well, glazings, that and that. Yeah, they can't even agree amongst themselves. And I think if we can't learn how to do that, I think we're going to fall well short of influencing what we need to.
That makes sense. Perfect.
Bit gloomy, really.
All good, all good.
Yeah, I think it's stuff we can change, but it comes from those that sit in the positions, doesn't it, to get together and say, look, what's done is done. Let's move forward. I actually quite enjoy recently the impact we've had in government level and senior industry levels. I think it was more a collective achievement, with being the first body to actually be registered on the government website for installation work in the home as a place to go for information during the pandemic. I thought showed a real performance by the team. Government don't do that just because they're being nice. They do it because they actually think what you've done is worthwhile. And I think that connection we've now managed to make between what are SME installers, often the little guys, and government listening is really powerful. And I think we're collectively very proud of that.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for chatting to us, Jon.
All right. No, nice
Pleasure to have you.